Diablo goes first, and he murders the enemy team. Okay, that is that's the Diablo setup you're looking for.
Hey, buddy, watch this.
Welcome back to another build guide here for Mercenaries. This is another early access build. Blizzard gave some of us content creators early access for a few days, and this is one of the most fun and successful builds I've tried out so far. Keep in mind some of the numbers here might have changed, making it weaker. This was not a final build I played, so keep that in mind. But nonetheless, it seems like these characters are very synergistic, and if you like fire-themed things in particular, this could definitely be the deck for you because it has some really neat synergies, particularly based off speed boosts from cards like Cairne into Diablo pop-offs and Antonidas and Ragnaros pop-offs and so on. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of these characters in more detail. So let's start things off here with Diablo. I think in many ways sort of the centerpiece for this deck. Thanks to his ability Fire Stomp, this one deals 6 damage to all enemies, and it repeats if the enemy hasn't acted yet. So if you can reduce the speed of this to make it a very fast ability, then you're going to be dealing a lot of damage, because essentially it could go off 4 times, which is a 24 damage AoE. If you have any sort of passive fire damage increases, say from Ragnaros, that could be even more. So a lot of potential, and Cairne, as we'll see, has some speed bumps that will make this very likely to go off before all of your opponents, as does Baron Geddon. Also got some just Apocalypse buffs if you need to go this route. This can really help you finish off a character because it can make critical damage work from everybody. And this is a fighter light build, so sometimes that can help fill in some gaps in particular. So next up, let's take a look at Cairne here, because he's really how you're going to get Ragnaros going off so quickly. Mainly thanks to Endurance Aura here, which is going to speed up your characters this turn. So Endurance Aura often will go off first. That's going to make Ragnaros or Diablo's ability go off next, often faster than at least 2 out of the 3 opposing characters, usually all 3. She's going to blow up on that ability. Cairne's also just got that sticky taunt aspect. Earth Stomp can also slow down your opponents to help Diablo as well. If for some reason Endurance Aura is down or isn't working that well, you can do kind of 2 in a row. So he's a big enabler for this deck. And then we've got Ragnaros here with some passive fire damage, as I teased. It's going to increase the damage of most of our characters' damage output, along with just a slew of single target or chain or AoE damage options that all synergize or bounce off of other fire characters, of which, as you'll see, there are a bunch in this deck. Next up is Baron Geddon, who's great to open with Heating Up, because this also increases the speed of your Diablo abilities. So as soon as that Cairne ability goes off and reduces it by 4, then this will also reduce Diablo's ability by 1, which means it's basically going to be a 1 speed ability. It will almost always go off first. So he's great to play, I think, in that first round with Diablo and Cairne, so that you have that turn 2 basically blow up potential. And then Geddon's also just got even more synergistic stuff here for all of our fire-based abilities. Much like Antonidas here, who's rocking Searing Pendant to get some extra fireballs out of Fireball Storm. So this can be a really big finisher if you've played a couple fire spells or abilities already. It's going to blow people up, dealing 12 damage per hit with many hits. He's also just got AoE and single target damage as well, that both sets up and benefits from these other fire plays. And then finally here we have Cariel, who's definitely the least synergistic, but just serves as a really effective disruptor, and she's a 1-speed taunt in particular, which can help protect some of your weaker characters like your casters, or if you really want to lean into Diablo, it can help you protect Diablo. So very important to deny any attack-based compositions, because this is a no cooldown, quick and easy taunt, and that can go a really long way. She also gets an attack bump off of Tome of Light while taunting, so that's pretty cool. And, has a little bit of healing or damage utility mixed in there as well for some potentially big finishers as needed to clean up if the fire damage didn't do it. So that said, let's see this craziness in action. Okay, so very caster-heavy team, which in some ways is bad because you don't have a lot of fighters, but in other ways is nuts because Diablo's really good in this specific scenario. Also, in many cases, I think caster abilities can be kind of slow. So I'm normally putting Baron Geddon in this scenario, a little tempted to put Ragnaros in so that the fire damage here just makes Diablo's turn 2 absolutely bonkers. The risk here is that Ragnaros could die because he's very weak to casters. So that's a little bit scary. Cairne isn't great at protecting Ragnaros on the first turn. So Cariel could, but I need Cairne's speed bump. So I'm a little bit torn here. If we want to get greedy or not. I think we'll stick to the standard game plan because that protector is just a little too risky against all those casters. And we could easily see a double caster start here that really punishes that Ragnaros. And in fact, we see a triple caster start. So if this works, Diablo is about to murder their entire team, frankly. And I want to soften up health totals on this first round. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, if I really knew abilities very, very well, I could target the character here who is most likely to have a low speed ability to set up Diablo's turn 2 Fire Stomp action. I don't know character abilities that well yet, right? So in this case, I'm just going to kind of soften everybody up so that we're more likely to secure lethals next turn with our combo. See, that's a 4-speed ability. That's pretty fast, actually. I need Cairne to survive here. And be the fastest character next turn as well. Wow, he barely survived. Oh my god. But it's okay, as long as he's the fastest character here, and he's able to get Fire Stomp off here, then this is going to deal 6 damage to each enemy, but it's actually going to deal 12, because they're all casters. So the potential here is nutty. I actually do not think this will go off, for the record. But this is the highest health total, so let's just go here to make sure we secure some lethals, right? So if this works, if Cairne goes first, we're probably good. Watch this. It didn't actually kill everybody, though. If we had Rag on board, it would have killed everybody, but it still dealt just a totally obscene amount of damage. That said, some big heals came through, but also Cairne didn't die miraculously. Despite the flame strike here. He actually did die. Never mind. He did die, but he came back to life. I take that back. He definitely died and then came back to life and almost, in fact, died again. So we're seeing Cairne's passive there where he comes back to life. So in this case, unfortunately, it's a little bit harder now. We're not exactly set up perfectly here. We can try to get this Earth Stomp off, but it may be too slow. Our opponent might just deal with that a little too easily. And if they do, that means Antonidas is alive. So this is a really tough call, right? Let's just try to play it this way. So we're going to set up Living Bomb here. If this takes damage, he deals damage to adjacent allies. We're going to attack here with Diablo so that it takes damage, theoretically. This is a faster ability, so that order's fine. It's just whether or not this will clean people up, but I think it'll be okay either way. Gul'dan might actually live still. Cairne dies, but that's okay. Important thing was here. Yeah, nice. We got 2 there. Okay, so, that didn't... that was great. Don't get me wrong, we're ahead, right? That was awesome. We still have 2 pretty meaty characters on board. They're almost dead. But it wasn't, nutty. I mean, Diablo did a ton of damage. You just didn't kill everybody, right? That was the downside. I mean, how much damage did that deal, though? I think it dealt 12 4 times. So it dealt 48 damage to all 3 characters, which is almost, 144 damage or something insane across everybody. That's kind of nuts. This is definitely less likely to be the first thing that goes off. It's also not quite enough to deal with Gul'dan. But you can see here, right, this is dealing 9. So if I had that Ragnaros on board, we decided not to because it's too risky. But if I had it on board, it would have dealt 9 4 times, or actually 18 on that specific older board 4 times, which would have been even more nuts across 3 characters. That said here, I guess we'll... just sort of play this a little bit safer here at this point. Fire combo, we do not know if that's going to go off because it's... Oh, we do know because we can use Rag here. Rag's fire combo will not go off, though. So which one's worth more? I think the AoE is worth a little more, right? So let's do Rags there, and then we'll do this this AoE here. Is that going off? Man, that's hard to tell. Yes, okay. This should be a good turn, actually. The AoE's kind of wasted, I guess, on the Gul'dan. Maybe not, though, because it got healed. Might actually be all right. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Oh, big AoEs. Woo! Damage incoming is enormous per turn right now. So now we're very ahead, obviously. Diablo is still chilling. We have 2 on the bench, and they're on their last few characters here. We could try to fire stomp this, I guess. Yeah. We could also just really melt this guy, Baron Geddon, with crits, and then try to clean up with AoEs on everybody else, right? That's pretty nice. Yeah, I like that. Now, see, these are at the same speed, so we don't know for sure if that'll combo. So I think we'll just use this to combo nicely. And so this sets up the combo so that this combos, and then this is also going to just... well, actually, this goes off last, though. So Rag is not really dealing enough damage to Baron Geddon for that, because this is a 6 speed. So yeah, maybe that's not worth. Maybe we'll just do everybody AoEs except Rag. Oh, he even actually AoEs as well. This is an AoE ability too. But I want the meteor fall off here. Yeah, this should be enough to clean it up, I think. Maybe if Diablo goes off too late, it won't be great, actually. Oh man, yeah, it's not that great. It's enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's fine. We're way ahead. It wasn't that great though. Our middle guy died a little too quick. Okay, this is gonna be a monstrous damage output. If it's even alive long enough, because everybody else is gonna kill it. Yeah, sadly. We won't even get to see that in action. Too much fire damage here incoming. 13, and then a big hit here. Alright, well, that was gonna be cool. Didn't even use a fire spell for Diablo, but good enough. Alright, so kind of an interesting fight. The Diablo wasn't like insanely lethal. But you know, good enough. It was just a ton of damage. I think in many ways, you know, you absolutely want to push for lethals so the characters can't interact, right? Like they don't have abilities able to go off. But also sometimes just maximizing damage output over the course of a fight, you know, just sets you up to win. Particularly with this deck that has a lot of kind of like AoEs that can increment damage over and over again over time. You can just set it up and then finish everybody off at once. You saw we were finishing 2 characters off at a time there on occasion. All right, so, oh my God, 5 fighters. What? All right, so this is definitely a scenario where we can go for Rag to get some passive boosts here, because clearly protectors are great against fighters, and they only have 1 caster, so our protectors are very safe feeling in this particular instance. And if they do have the caster, that's what Diablo is really going to murder in this case, so that's okay. So we'll do the same exact setup as we had before, where we kind of want to soften people up, make sure Diablo is better at getting close to killing them. In particular, this caster might be a little overkill, because Blink Fox, by the way, looks amazing in that artwork, for the record. But she's also going to be the easiest to kill. Because theoretically, right, we might be dealing upwards of 18 damage 4 times to her, right? So we're talking about 40 plus another 32. That is only 72, though. That's actually not quite a lethal setup. So maybe we do still want to hit her. And just ensure that we're setting this up as best as possible, right? Okay. Yeah, big damage there already. 9 times 4 is also another important metric, right? Because that's what Diablo will be doing to the non-casters. And 9 times 4 is 36. So we've set up King Crush here to be dead, potentially, if this combo works to maximum efficiency. That said, we didn't run Baron Geddon this time, so there's a chance people could get in abilities under us, right? Basically. Also, let's do that guy. Oh, this might die, though. That's a little slow. Never mind. Let's just hit Tavish. We're not going to get a combo on this because it goes off before Diablo, but that's okay. It's just I want to make sure he doesn't die first, right? So hopefully we still get to go first for Diablo. Does anybody sneak in? No, Diablo goes first, and he murders the enemy team. Okay, that's the Diablo setup you're looking for with the passive benefit from Rag. That was absolutely bonkers. Okay, so we're down to the final 3 here and still have our initial team up. That was cool. We can go Earth Stomp here. These are pretty attack based. I guess not really. Diablo and Tyrande are not that attack based from what I remember. Sourfang definitely is, but Earth Stomp's especially good because we're hitting 3 fighters, which he's strong against, right? That's awesome. As far as Diablo is concerned, we don't have a great play here. So we'll just attack the weakest character. And then Meteor here is really, really good if Rag can survive against 3 fighters. I doubt Rag lives, though. I think he'll get sniped by somebody here. Yeah, that alone did it, right? So worth a shot, but not quite sticking this time. So yeah, this turn was definitely a little weaker. No question about that, but that's okay. We kind of expected as such. So now we can put in Cariel. She's really good against fighters. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of throw in a caster who's not so good against fighters, but Antonidas has good AoE, and we've already softened these guys up, so hopefully we can get a quick Antonidas off this Cairne speed debuff. And let's see, she's pretty slow, but Flame Strike's slower. So we're going to definitely open with Endurance Aura to get our speed bump here. That's going to make our attacks quicker. I think we'll still Flame Strike. I guess the Death Blow on Cariel here is really not particularly relevant. I think Diablo's maybe the most... No, I think Tyranda's the most threatening. So let's go ahead and try to kill off Tyrande. Actually don't know if we'll have enough, honestly. The 14 doesn't really open us up that well. Yeah, we still don't really have enough. Oh, thankfully that went off later. Would have got buffed even more. Yeah, I mean, the kind of sad thing is, right, like our build here is good against fighters. It's just not a great damage output build, you know? Like, we're just sort of... I don't care what we hit, so this is a little better than... although he needs to go fast because he's going to die if he doesn't. So yeah, let's actually make this guy go fast. We need a faster ability, and this is a 4 versus a 7. If he's a 7, he'll definitely be dead. So 4, he might get it off. I don't know. We'll see. Still pretty risky. Ooh, 22 was perfect. Okay. God, that's at 1, but it doesn't matter. Warstomp cleans it up. Okay. Yeah, we're there. All right. You know, we still had a bench character, too, so we were probably going to be fine. Even if things weren't perfect, right? It just kind of works out. Okay. Cool. Good fight, good fight. I'm glad we can see that just bonkers Diablo scenario. That was like the dream. Even if it wasn't the perfect enemy team, it was still just nuts with Ragnaros. All right, so I think you saw some of the crazy fire speed buff action here. You can see the potential's absurd if you get all this to work out. I still don't really know if Cariel's the best fit. In theory, I think she's fine. You know the protector, but definitely feels like a spot you could slot somebody else in if you got a different character, if you think somebody else can fit better in that world. There's some other just great characters like Thrall or Lich King or something who could fit in. But all in all, this is a really fun build to play when it works well. And as you can see, it can really blow people up. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Of course, you know, don't overcommit into any of these builds. First off, things may have changed since I recorded this and it hit the live servers. On top of that, you know, we don't know what metas look like. So these are just fun ideas, some fun stuff to try, keep an eye on, but definitely don't invest all your resources into crafting this party or any other. That said, thanks much as always for watching, and until next time, game on.